What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. This is another French Workbench podcast. We have quite a studio today. We have a lot of guests in here, a couple of new people. Well, actually, we've had one new person. We have another we have another guy here. His name's Mike Keeler. Everybody knows who that is. So we're going to go over with Mike. And this is Dan French, and I appreciate you guys tuning in to the podcast. And, we're going to introduce Summit Homes. Summit Homes is here today, and we have a representative talking about just the different challenges that's going on, maybe with land, maybe also trying to get into a home, and some of the things that some of these clients are dealing with. So let me go ahead and introduce our special guest. His name is Andrew Acuna. He's from Summit Homes. What's going on today, Andrew?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in, man. So, I'm sure you see a lot of the challenges that's happening right now. Summit Homes is a pretty big builder out here in Las Vegas, and you guys obviously are going through some challenges with land. There's a lot of demand for homes, and you guys are you're one of the bigger builders out here looking for land. You're looking for opportunity, and you also have some things going on with some of these clients with challenges and stuff getting into a home. So let's talk a little bit about how you got into the business and what you do.
Sure. We're generally one of the larger private builders here in town. We typically build about 75 to 125 homes a year. My role with the company is, since we're a privately owned company, family owned, we have a division in Seattle, Washington, and we have a division in Las Vegas. Don White, the other two sons, Brian and David, they help run the Seattle division.
Sure.
Nathan White, Lindsay White, and myself, we help run the Vegas market.
Okay.
I know my title's VP of Land Acquisition and Forward Planning, but generally me, Nathan, and Lindsay pretty much run Las Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty hard, right? So you got a lot of people out there that are coming from out of state, and they're always looking to see where's the next place they can move. And, Summit Homes, let's talk a little bit about them. So I'm going to bring this up real quick, this website, and kind of explain what goes on with Summit Homes, because, I've been in the business now for 12 years, and I've heard of Summit Homes before, and just kind of explain their history and what they do.
Sure. They were a larger builder and a different operating name many years ago. They used to be pageantry homes. When the market turned and crashed, they reinvented themselves as Summit Homes during the downturn in about 2008 or 9, I think it was.
Sure.
At the time, I was working for a different public builder that doesn't exist anymore. It was Ryland Homes.
Okay.
And I did the land ac for them for a couple of years. And I happened to run into Nathan White one day at a lunch.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, Andrew, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm kicking back up again. We have a whole 2.5 acre parcel with 16 lots." And
Right.
he's like, "We want to grow again." He's like, "Can you come help?"
Yeah. So, when you look at the new home builder, really the challenges with new homes, right, today, a lot of people, lumber, we talk about that. So we're going to go over a lot of these different challenges. I also want to introduce my other two guests that are in here. We have Esmeralda Lacia. She's from WFG. She's been here a couple of times now. Go ahead and see what's going on. What's going on with you today, Esmeralda?
Well, thank you for having me here as well, and having Andrew here and Mike. And just, and hey, what's going on with us in the title side is kind of what Andrew's going to talk about today. So I think that kind of is going to start off.
You're out there hustling right now, aren't you?
Yes, every day, all day. That's the new thing.
That's the new thing. We also have, I got Mike Keeler. He's back. He's my my right-hand guy right now on Tuesdays.
Actually, your left-hand guy.
Oh, you're my left-hand guy. Yeah. Let's bring up Mike real quick. What's going on, Mikey?
Life is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Took the boat out for the first time on Saturday, and didn't look like too much of an idiot putting it in the water, so that was a good thing.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, you were out on the you did Vegas. You were out at everybody seemed like they do the Vegas nights thing.
Yeah.
Did you do that as well over the weekend?
Yeah, I went Friday night, and wow, what a game that was. That was amazing. Overtime.
Yeah.
And we won with 17 seconds to go. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
And we took my wife, and it was her first time going to a hockey game.
Oh, wow.
She generally doesn't like sports, but she sat there riveted and just watched this. She likes it because it moves.
Yeah.
Baseball and football, you've got a little bit of action and then a lot of downtime. And yeah, I can understand that gets
They have a
boring.
nice show too. It keeps you entertained.
And it's a Vegas experience.
They're definitely fast paced.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's fast paced, but just, you know, you got the drummers and the girls and everything. It's just an amazing experience. And yeah, we had a great time up there.
So let's talk about new homes. Okay, everybody out there knows that new homes is a challenge today, and you know the reason I'm bringing Summit on is because I actually had somebody tell me, "Hey Dan, can you bring on a builder?" And I'm like, you know what? Let's bring on a builder. And you know, funny, Esmeralda had somebody that she knows very closely, right? With Summit Homes. So let's talk about Summit Homes. Like, okay, so you guys are out there. You're looking for land. You're looking for a lot of things to possibly get started. What is your role in that as far as getting everything started? You're not, you know what, I'm sure you know what it is. A land surveyor? That's not what you do, right?
I find the land that we build on, and I do all the design and entitlement, land development.
All of that, huh?
Bidding, yeah.
So you're out there looking for just parcels to build on.
Yep, generally.
How big a parcel are you guys typically looking for?
So we've found a little niche in our business plan, so we don't have to compete with the publics.
Sure.
So we'll focus on 2.5, 5 acre, 10 acre sites.
Okay.
And subdivide them into
And
small.
subdivided them into, you know, first time home buyer lots, up all the way up to the half acre estates.
Where do you guys get started at? So like, you're not a top tier type of price range as far as a home builder. Where do you guys usually start out at? And,
For our entry level homes, we're generally like anywhere from 1,900 to 2,400 square feet. And right now our price point is like low threes, mid threes.
okay. Now, do you guys ever have, like, there's a lot of people out there that think new homes, and this is just my thought, but a lot of people think new homes are bulletproof, right? They don't have any issues. Not saying that, you know, but there's things out there that they do. They think like, I'm buying a new car. There's never going to be any issues, right? Do you guys have issues where there's, you know, trying to find land, you know, put the foundation there and just kind of get things started? Because it seems like a lot of people really don't know what a builder goes through, but also they don't know that they can order their own home inspection, right? They can order, you know, they want to get more details on that. Is that something that you guys generally have people ask about? Because they seem a lot of people don't really want to go the extra mile. They think, well, I'm buying new, there's not going to be any issues. But getting a home inspection is actually something that's important because it actually covers the consumer. But then if there is an issue, maybe you guys can address it internally.
Right. We encourage people. We have no objections to them going ahead and doing home inspections during the course of the construction or at the end if they so choose. But the good thing is with us, they get a 1-year manufacturer warranty from all the trades. And we also generally include a 210 warranty, which covers that one additional year.
Right.
After the 1-year sub warranty ends. And then they have the structural warranty all the way up to 10 years.
So do you see yourself, or there's a lot of, and Mike, maybe you know, I mean, you've been out buying new homes and you see what goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I know enough about construction to be dangerous.
Right.
But yeah, when I bought a new home, I had my punch list and I knew all these things that weren't right or weren't what I wanted. There was a banister that had a joint and it was really wiggly in the middle of the staircase. I said, you know, you can't do that. But the neat thing is, as you said, you know, when they hand you the keys, you still got time to find those things. I mean, you're going to live in this place for a year or two and find more things.
Yeah, and that's generally what happens too. Is like after moving, you start to notice things.
This outlet doesn't work.
The outlet,
you know,
you know, a toilet may not work properly. Or
Is it like right now? It seemed like, is it true like where there's builders, and not to try to put you on the spot, but it seemed like builders, they know that clients are coming in and they're going to buy a home, and sometimes you're gonna have to settle for what you get, you know, because it's not like we have an abundance of homes on the market, and they know that. They know like, hey, you know what? If you're gonna buy a new home, we're gonna give you as much as we can give you, but we're not gonna go, you know, too crazy. We're not gonna try to say, you know, because the clients are walking in left and right. Also, cost of lumber and some of the cost for the construction side of it is actually pretty high. So,
can you hook me up with some plywood?
yeah, right.
Right? Isn't it expensive?
You got a source?
I saw a meme and a lady was like, "Oh, take me somewhere nice." And
Yeah.
they were having dinner in front of the lumber pile.
It's somewhere expensive.
Yeah, somewhere expensive.
That's what it said. Yeah.
But you do get challenges, right? I mean, you got people that come in and it's like, I want this, or it's not. You guys don't do custom, right? It's,
In our higher end product, we'll do like semi-custom.
Okay.
But we try to be an all-inclusive builder, so we try to have our spec level a little higher. Include the granite countertops, the higher end finishes for the flooring and things like that. And we give those people those inclusions. So we do like pavement driveways, paver driveways.
Yeah.
Instead of just the traditional concrete. So we try to have our spec level a little higher because we're more of a spec builder. We'll go ahead and spec out these houses of current market trends, cabinets, flooring, backsplash, kitchens, appliances. That way it's move-in ready when a buyer walks through the door. Like you mentioned cost, that's a big factor right now. It's always been, but recently, I can tell you in like the last month or two, we've had 35% increases in just lumber.
In lumber?
Yeah, for example,
Right.
like a
In a
2,000
month?
square in a month, in a 2,000 square foot house.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
You're talking $9,000.
Yeah.
So it's not 400% increase.
No, it's like
That.
35%.
It's pretty high.
Yeah,
But I think a
it
lot of
is.
people want to know, like, what do you get? Like, so there's a big thing here where there's a lot of construction where they don't have enough product, right? They don't have enough of the resources for lumber. There's other things too. What are some of the premium things that people usually go after? Not just at Summit, but just at a new home place, or where do they go after? Is it they get granite countertops? What else do people usually want to get?
That's always the big things: the cabinets,
Right.
the countertops,
the kitchen, right?
flooring, the kitchen and bathrooms.
Yeah.
Are always.
And they'll pay a premium for that typically.
Yeah,
right?
they'll pay the option to do like a big walk-in master shower, or a freestanding tub and a walk-in shower combo. Or, instead of just having your traditional, vinyl surround sounds.
Right. So like, let's say somebody comes in and they're like, what, I want to get the house. Typically you look at where upgrades, like when somebody comes and gets upgrades, there's never the base price, what somebody comes in at. It's always a little bit higher. So, when they're going at that price point, you said, what is the price point that they start out there?
We're like low threes right now. Like
low threes?
330s, 350s.
Wow. So you're at the low threes then?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you're at the low threes, but by the time that everything gets done where they get the upgrades and everything happens, sometimes they're what, 350, 400? Is that right?
Depending on the house, they can be anywhere. They usually add about 9 to 20% in options.
Okay.
Typical.
Where are you guys start? Where's your big hot spot right now as far as where you guys are building?
We're building a lot of projects in the Southwest right now.
The Southwest, is that's up towards like
215 in Durango.
Okay. Is that
Blue
up
Diamond and
Blue
El
Diamond?
Capitan.
Okay.
Near Southern Highlands, we're just finishing up a project.
Mountain's Edge.
Mountain's Edge. So it's like going up towards Pahrump area, right? You take up that road, the Blue Diamond there.
If you would have asked me 20 years ago, it would have seemed really far away. It's pretty much like center of town. You can be anywhere 15 strip in 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
You can be in Henderson in 25.
Down at IKEA a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I have a project a mile away from IKEA.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what you guys see with the challenges in Las Vegas. I think a lot of new home builders, they're going through challenges of land. And we talked about that. I think it's like 80, 85%, something like that. That's some crazy number where the government owns most of the land here in Nevada. And so what is the way to get around that? Are you guys having really having some problems getting and focusing on land in the future? Because that seems like that's what you do, right?
Yeah, that's always the issue. It's been the issue since I can remember 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's always land constraint because we're a valley, right? And we can only build so far. And you're right, the BLM does own a big chunk of the parcel. So that actually takes an act of Congress, literally, to change those rules and laws so they can widen the boundary disposal area.
Yeah.
So those parcels can be auctioned up in the future. Because the BLM does or pre-pandemic, we're doing public government auctions of their resources. And the way that works is you nominate a parcel. Mm-hmm. Through the entity it lies in, like the city, county, Henderson, wherever it is, and they process it through the BLM, through the government agencies, and then if there's no reservations and nobody wants it, it goes up to public auction, and then they get 3 appraisers. They go and check the value of it, and they set a price based on the highest appraisal amount, and then that's what the starting bid auction price ends up being.
I see.
At those auctions.
So how often does that happen, would you say?
It was happening twice a year, usually in the spring and fall.
Okay.
But since pandemic, it
just kind of slowed things down.
I don't think the next one's going to happen until next spring. But the airport, Clark County Aviation Department, is also a big land seller owner here in town.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, they bought a lot of parcels for the flight patterns near in the southwest areas, and the flight patterns have changed recently, and they've decided, okay, now we can go ahead and dispose of and sell those parcels because we can go ahead and put residential apartments, commercial developments on them.
So if somebody's trying to build like let's say they want to go after land themselves, because you guys obviously you're a big entity, right? Let's say you're a private owner or somebody that's going after land. Is that a challenge for somebody to go get land and then build their own home? It seemed like there was a lot of people out here in Vegas, especially before things started to kind of expand out, that there was these homes that were really secluded, but they had a nice big piece of lot that they built their own home on. And then obviously that's kind of dwindling here. What do you think? I mean, is it hard to get that if you're trying to get your own custom style home?
If you want to build a custom home, you can still find those parcels, but it depends if you want public utilities, sewer, water. You know, if depending on how far away you are from those kind of things and the expense to bring it to your parcel, you may just end up building a septic tank or a well and those kind of things. So you can still find those kind of parcels if you're looking right, you know, but even those are at a premium now.
Yeah. Like in a subdivision, that's the perk, right? It's the permits, right? Getting it all set up, getting the land, the permits, and then also having all of that connect, right, to all the different homes, and also have it connect underground and all these things, right? That's pretty much the challenge, right?
Any builder does, any private custom builder, that's what you're doing. You go and you find this piece of property, you design it, you'll cut up the lots, and then you're also designing it for the streets, the utilities, the power, gas, water, sewer, Cox Communications. You need to make sure all these things are in these communities in place.
Yeah.
And, just to give you an idea, you could take a raw piece of dirt, purchase it, and you could be 2 years before you ever go vertical.
I see.
On it. By the time you do the entitlements, you get your building permits approved, and through the various entities.
Yeah, I mean, dealing with the city and the county has got to be a big challenge.
Oh yeah, and the rules of the game constantly change.
Well, certainly, yeah. I know people in the planning departments and things like that, and it's always interesting hearing how things change and all the different rules and regulations that you guys have to go through. I remember when my son went to Faith Lutheran and they wanted to move a street. Holy cow! I mean, it took a huge act of the city council to get through that.
And that doesn't matter if you're building 4-lot subdivision, you still have to go through planning commission, city councils, Clark County commissioners.
And everybody can stand up and voice against it.
Correct.
Oh, that's a huge challenge. Do you run into many people voicing against a project?
All the time. Yeah, they have their own little neighborhood groups that they're formed, and they are very exact in what they're trying to do. They've learned how to get the attention of the sitting commissioners.
You have a lot of people right now that are buying new homes that are, not new, but existing homes. They're paying way above price. How fast is your price point growing and going up? How fast is that happening right now in new homes?
We just recently increased our prices on a couple of our communities.
Yeah. Is it because of the cost of all of the things
it was more to offset that.
Right.
And plus the values had been going up. So obviously you want to be competitive in the market.
Somebody told me one time, they're like, builders aren't going to pass that cost to you. I'm not saying they're going to pass all the costs, but you have to realize they're running a business too. And so you would think that it would be common sense that they would pass that to the consumer. Now, on a level of how much they pass it, I'm not sure. But is there some do you guys have meetings where it's like, we can only increase it so much in this in this time period, because we can't just go from, 300 to 400.
Right.
How does it go up over time?
We check it over every month.
Every month?
Generally, based on sales trends for the area.
Okay.
So we track it every month.
You've still got to make a profit no matter what.
Right. You know, any other business, you're
can't be selling houses at a loss.
exactly.
Right.
You're not doing it for free.
Yeah.
Esmeralda, what's going on over there? You're not saying anything.
Well, I'm just listening. So I wanted to ask, so what would be the highest jump in price that you've seen within the last 2 years, like in growth? So an increase in sales price. So from 300, what has been the highest that has increased within that month, within that area? Over like what?
A year, I would say, let's just say a year, that's probably more accurate. I think you're seeing anywhere from 10 to 20% price increases.
I mean, it's going crazy. And like I got a guy.
You hear some of the public guys doing lotteries and systems like that.
You guys don't do a lottery?
We don't do that, no. Like, we're not that
I
kind
asked
of
that
builder. We encourage
lotteries?
brokers, buyers, everybody to go ahead, walk through your door, pick your lot. If it's available, pick your house.
What makes you different, you as a builder and your company or your entity, what makes you different than other builders?
I think we're a lot more personalized. You know, you actually are dealing with the people who have the voice and ear of the people who are running the company.
Yeah.
Versus the hierarchy of a big public company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they operate to the publicly traded company. So they have stockholders and board meetings and everybody they have to answer to. With us, you can come in and say, hey, like, here's what I want to do. And if we can do it, we'll do it for you. If not.
The other one, would you say that the other builders are more corporate, almost more, they have?
Definitely all the publics.
Yeah.
They're definitely more corporate structured. They have headquarters in Atlanta.
Well, I think as they get bigger, it's more cookie cutter homes. We've got these 5 models, and you can choose these 3 color schemes, and that's it.
Right. Because the only way you're going to be able to make modifications and changes to what you want, then you are talking true custom, and you need to design it, do your plans, and do all that yourself. But,
yeah.
So we built a house. I'm trying to remember when it was. Probably I think 98. This was up in Oregon, and I actually had network wiring run throughout the house. I mean, this is something that I wanted. They didn't do that back then.
Right.
And so I had to show them exactly what to do and what kind of wire to buy and all that stuff because they weren't familiar with that. But it was really cool that they would work with me on that.
Right.
Yeah, I think the new homes thing, though, the theme right now is that there's no existing homes out there in the market. So you guys are thriving right now as builders.
Yeah, there's no resales. I mean, last year numbers, I think we built about 11. There was 11,000 new homes built last year, which is way different than in the peak. During the before the last downturn, there was 40,000 homes a year being built.
Yeah.
Now we're at a sustainable pace of 11,000 a year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Plus the financing on your side.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, there's also the out there
stated income, stated asset loans. People are putting a lot of money down now. They have a lot more skin in the game. So the market's a lot more solid, in my opinion.
I think it's solid. They also said that it's going to slow down. Like the people buying homes this year is going to slow down. You guys don't seem like you've slowed down at all.
I personally, no one has the magic crystal ball, but based on the demand and the current market trends, I don't think you're going to see it for a couple of years.
Okay. So if you look at where people come in at, Nate, how often are people coming in and saying, you know what, is there a big influx of people coming in trying to buy homes every single day, or is it kind of goes in waves? Because there's a lot of people out there right now that, like you said, there's a lottery. How do you guys pick and choose? Is it just first come, first serve?
For us, it's first come, first serve.
Really?
We don't do the lottery game, and we encourage brokers. Like I think I've heard of stories of Publix and other home builders cutting down their commission co-op for real estate brokers.
Yes. Why is that?
Because they can,
and
greed.
and that's not something we do.
Well, think about it like this: if you're an agent out there, right, and we all know that I have people that are related to me as far as that are in real estate. I also have friends and people that are around me that are in real estate. Why would anybody want to take anybody to go to a new home build if they're not going to get compensated? Like, for instance, if somebody told me, hey, you're only going to get paid $1,000, and then,
Or
is that
$500?
Or $500
used to be typical.
Yeah, is that something? So then now you're discouraging, agents to bring people to those builders,
right? But I guess they have so much demand that it doesn't really impact them.
Well, I think too, it's like I think builders will start to open up when properties start to open up, right? Where they're not going to just be like, hey, we're not going to pay you anything. If there's more properties on the market, existing homes, wouldn't you think that there would be more of an incentive now to say, hey, you know what? We need to get these people back here. But if there's no homes and there's nothing happening, what are we going to do? I mean, you're going to see real estate agents really just kind of be like, hey, you know what? It's either no home or existing, but I'm going to pick my poison. I'd rather go for the existing home and try to get that offer, right? Because, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying discouraging people to go buy a new home, but you have to think too, and people want to, there's agents that work for you guys. Is that right?
We have our new home sales consultants that sit on site.
Are they getting compensated the same as if somebody would bring them in, or are they getting compensated more?
They get compensated lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
Really? See, and that's crazy.
Well, you guys are bringing them in.
Right.
They do all the advertising and all that. So.
Well, it's selling itself though today. The thing the thing about new homes is that if there's nothing else, where do you go? And it's pushing some people on the sidelines like, you know what? I can't go existing. I can't find a new home. So now you're looking at the situation going, well, if I'm an agent and I'm going to new homes tracks and I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to get $500. I hate to say it, that I probably would just be like, I'm not going to do that. I mean, that's just me. I'm just telling you straight up. I mean,
and that is happening.
I'm sure it's more than $500, but
no,
really,
I've seen it's $500.
Wow.
There's some builders.
It's crazy.
I've seen some that they don't even give any.
Nothing, huh?
Nothing.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I don't know right now if there's somebody actually doing that, but
and
I've
like
had
you
it.
said,
I've
it's
heard
all demand driven. So while they can get away with it, they will.
It just goes to show though, like, like if you have like a camaraderie in the industry, we all know everybody has greed. Everybody wants, to make as much as they can. But
some people start podcasts.
Right. Some people start podcasts.
And this is a small town. It's relationship driven.
It is, man.
I don't know about you guys. I'm born and raised here. I've been here my whole life. So it's a community, like you said.
It is.
And you want to get along with your neighbor. And
well, you also get a reputation.
Exactly.
And, I mean, nobody wants to be that person with a bad reputation. So,
well, I think, you're not going to sit here and be like, well, I'm not going to work with any builders. Obviously, builders are vital. We all have a piece in this. She's title, right? Exactly. I need to work with her. You're obviously out looking for land to build homes. But I mean, even with builders and lenders, especially outside lenders, they're frowned upon. They don't want anybody outside because it loses control of the client, loses control of the outcome. And then also too, those incentives go away and they're like, you know what? We really don't want an outside lender. The point of why I'm saying that is I think we all have to work together, right? And for some point of, hey, you know what? These homes that are being built and you're not getting compensated, it almost discourages, in my opinion, real estate agents in a lot of ways where I don't see, like, builders already have deep pockets, right? So why couldn't they just say, hey, you know what? They do, man.
I wish we had a lot of margin on our houses. You'd be surprised.
I think
there's not as big as margin as most people think.
Really?
Building, and there's a lot of hands and a lot of negative sides to it too, where you can get hit hard and really bad too in a community where you have cost overruns, land development overruns, those kind of things, and
do new homes
eats away at the profit?
Or mistakes. I mean, I was talking about when I was building my house last week. I was talking how they dug the foundation in the wrong spot, and I said no. RV parking's supposed to be on this side of the house, and so they had to bring the backhoe out and redo everything and set new forms.
Yeah.
How much did that cost them?
Yeah.
I'm sure not every project goes super smoothly. So
there's always that one. That's the dog.
Yeah, that's the dog.
Everybody, doesn't matter who you are, public, private.
Yeah.
You always have that one project that hurts you.
Well, is there ever a project where you guys actually, as a company or maybe even a builder you're not representing, where they've actually lost money? Where it's like, hey, we sold these homes, but after you look at the overhead, you look at the profit and the loss, it's like...
Of course it's happened over the years. Not right now, probably, because I think the price appreciation and is kind of taking care of itself for everybody.
Yeah.
But it definitely happened. I mean, you heard of before the first downturn, you had a lot of publics basically write down all these land purchases they made, and they just became like legacy communities. So they write it down to zero.
Yeah.
And then when the market came back, they had a zero land basis because it was already written off, and they were referred to as legacy communities. That they were defunct projects that just sat there for all those years, and then now the market came back, they were recreated and moved forward again.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to say too is that when you look at the new homes tracks, right, and you look at the what people have gone through, was Summit Homes, did they go through the crash?
Oh yeah,
they
disappeared.
They disappeared.
They were pageantry homes before that.
Wow.
So they were building 800, 900 homes a year here in Vegas, and they just went under.
So what makes a builder like that? And obviously it's capital, and there's a lot of factors.
That was the banks. Back then it was all, FDIC came over, took over all the banks, and refused to let the lending continue to the builders. And I think that was a big problem of it, because if you would have you could have worked out arrangements, you could have worked deals out with the private builders, the publics, anybody who was willing to work it out with you and, still fight your way through it and made it work.
So what did they come in and say that made everything change?
They just freezed all the assets.
They just came in and said, hey, you know what? Everybody that's lending right now, because we're about to have a collapse here, a market collapse, nothing can go through. And what did you guys end up doing?
Went home.
You just went home? You had a beer?
watched the Oprah or whatever.
that was the problem is, if with nobody buying homes, you've got all these half-done projects, and there were quite a few of them sitting around. We had some up by us in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Just half done, and they just sat there, and people went in and ripped out all the copper, and
I became a loan officer.
Right. That's what everybody does. Yeah, right. They're on to me.
No, it's true, because we started doing it in other states. So Oregon, New Mexico, Colorado, Florida, California. Mm-hmm. As long as you can have an email or a fax machine or some electronic DocuSign, you could do refinances, you could do loans in other states. So as long as you had your license, you could still survive and make it through.
So what do you see different from that market versus this market? Because that market, it was just as hot, right? You had people lotteries, everything going on. They did. I mean,
I think that's the big thing I just said is like, this is simple supply and demand. Like back then we were building 35,000 homes a year. Now we're doing 11, so we're not even close to the current demand. It's just that, is it because it's harder to get loans, and it's just there's a slower capacity of building? I think everybody's just being more cautious.
Yeah.
Plus, it is harder to get a loan.
Yeah.
And, right now I think what's fueling the Las Vegas market is a lot of out-of-state California buyers. They're typically 30 to 40% of all the buyers in town.
Does a builder make most of its money off of upgrades? I just want to know.
Oh, that is a good question.
It's part of that's just a small percentage of it.
Really?
It's overall on all of it.
So because the reason I'm asking that is everybody always brings up this stigma, like, hey, you know what? They're only getting paid. It's like 1/3 of what they would pay for it. Obviously, you got to run a business. So we understand. Like I understand. I'm just saying, is it pushed because of that reason where you get the because for you guys it's different, right? You're custom almost, right? You guys have your own.
We have our plan in place, like the publics. We have our spec. We try to include more of the options in our homes. Yeah, and it's.
What about lot size? Like, does it increase with the lot size versus
the bigger if we do our bigger homes, we have to have the bigger lot size, obviously, because it's a bigger footprint. Our half-acre stuff, you have to be on an 18,000 square foot lot to make those plans fit.
Mike, what do you know about new homes today, man? You out shopping for a new home right now?
Oh no, I've got my house. We bought it back in 2008, and we're happy as a clam.
I got a great builder, Summit Homes. They're going to stop by. You want to talk to them?
Yeah, I'm not interested in moving. I got too much stuff.
Too much going on?
Too much stuff.
So I think what we're trying to give is insight on what's happening behind the scenes, right, at the builder or as a builder, and what some of the challenges these people are working with. A lot of people are out of state, and if you look at the out-of-state buyers, what do you think the percentage of out-of-state buyers you guys deal with? Is it really like a really high number like mine?
Yeah, 30, 40%.
Really? So you have 30 or 40% out of state. You're saying that there's about a 60 to 70% that's in state buying a home?
Yeah.
Really? That's pretty crazy, because for me, it's flip-flop. It's almost like everybody that's coming is coming from Hawaii, California, East Coast, West Coast, like Texas. I mean, they're coming from everywhere.
Coming from Texas?
Yeah, they're coming from Texas, man.
Okay.
I got
awesome.
people, I mean, not as much as you would think. I mean, a lot of people are going to Texas, too. They're going to Arizona.
Sure.
But it just seems like everybody's out of state, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, a lot of people want to transition here because, in my opinion,
Tax savings.
Exactly. Same for Texas. Tax savings, right?
Sure.
So I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of out-of-state buyers, and
Well, you've got a lot of retirees who want to
Yeah.
get rid of the snow. They don't want to live in snow.
They want to.
And you know they leave their snow shovel behind. They're
Right.
happy to do that.
That's a big thing. You know, that a lot of the storms that happened over the last winter.
Sure.
Like Mike
Empty
saying,
nesters.
Yeah,
like Mike
I've
saying,
got a client.
Those were big things.
Yeah, I've got a client who moved from Florida, and she said, "I'm never going back." You know, she lived through one of the hurricanes and said, "That's one's enough. I'm not doing that again."
Vegas is a great place, man. I always say it's probably, I mean, for me, it's the best place to live. It's got everything at my fingertips, you know. I don't know. Let's go back and talk about the new home situation with people coming in here and putting in applications, people trying to get homes. So is there enough homes out there for the demand that's out there? Obviously, it's for us, existing homes, we see it as not. Is the supply meeting the demand?
I think the publics and privates were all doing a good job of planning out 2 years ahead. Always.
Okay.
Is what we're always trying to be 2 years ahead.
Okay.
And so that way, it's just, I think the biggest thing is what, like I was talking about before, is getting through the entitlements, getting through the permitting process through the various government entities. I think is the biggest issue right now. Through all the various entities, like there's certain entities here in town that are really cooperative, want to work with you a lot, and there's a couple that I don't want to say names because you know all of a sudden my
Because they're
stuff
probably
will get
listening.
on the bottom of the pile, but you know that are becoming very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, there's constant new legislation changing with like you know that they want every home to have the capacity for the electric vehicles charging, but then it's like, okay, that's fine, but then what about the power grids?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the capacity for the power grids to be able to handle all this,
Yeah, it's an extra 200 amps or
you
something.
know, perceived demand that's going to come from all these electric vehicles too. Is like, okay, that's great, I want to charge my Tesla, but I need to make sure my ampage in my home and the grid and the transformers on the street and my particular little neighborhood can sustain it. So if you have let's just say I'm going to add another 400 homes to this little particular area of the grid, can the grid really sustain it?
Yeah.
I think there's other little things that
So you need to work with.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want everybody to have an electric vehicle, but where's the power going to come from to source the main power grid to deliver that
Solar.
extra power?
Are you guys doing a lot of smart homes right now?
In our higher end product, generally.
Okay. Where does that price point start out at?
700s.
700s. Okay. That's not bad. I mean, that's a pretty good price point. But it's crazy to me when somebody says, hey, we're starting out on a smart home at 700s. You go back 5 years, 700 was like a huge home, man. It was
Yes.
like out of this world type of home. Like, you're going to come here and buy a $700,000 home.
Everybody was like, wow, that's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that's a lot of money. It's crazy. Now it's like, and everybody kind of goes crazy about it, but 800 to 1.2, it's probably like it's not outside
It's
the
like
realm
a
of,
middle size.
yeah, it's like the starting point for somebody that's buying in that that tier of
Exactly.
buyer, you know? So for me, I don't know where this is going to go. What does New Homes out there, what does Summit Homes think about where we're going to be at in the next year?
I still think you'll see the same demand, but if we can't get the cost under control, I think you'll start to see people holding or pulling back, scaling back.
Yeah.
Because if the costs keep going up the way they've been on lumber,
So what
pipe,
what
stuff
is
like
the
that.
reason for the lumber costs and things like that? You know?
Oh, I think it was some, from what I understand, I'm not up to speed on it. I should get up to speed, but I think it was some of the legislation that was passed that prevented additional cutting in the forests.
Yeah. Also, too, I think COVID obviously plays a factor on all of this, not just on
that's
lumber.
affected
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
all
I can tell you
supply
right now,
chains,
we're having a
definitely.
big issue on appliances.
Sure.
One, because of COVID,
Right.
they couldn't get the work. They shut down.
Yeah.
And then they opened up at 25% capacity, so the factories weren't running the same.
Sure.
They were playing catch up. And then they had a big storm in Texas and Louisiana where the foam was made
Oh, okay.
that made the appliances. So that was another setback.
Right.
Like, I mean, give you an example. I just built my house and I just moved in November.
You had it built by Summit Homes, right?
I'm still
Summit
waiting for my refrigerator and freezer that I ordered
really?
last
Wait a
August.
second. You're VIP and you're still waiting for this?
If I was the manufacturer of the appliances, maybe I'd have a say, right? But
I'm going to call
I'm
Mr.
waiting
White tomorrow.
just like everybody. I'm waiting just like everybody else, like waiting for my refrigerator and freezer
I'm just
since last
Yeah.
August, and I'm being told that if I'm lucky, I'll get it July.
That's
wow.
not too far.
I know it's not too far.
So just for example, like when we go and we build our houses, it used to be that we could say, okay, I want my appliances, I'll order a week ahead of time.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
now we have a 4-month lead time. We need to order those things as soon as we start the construction of those houses to make sure we have them by
Right.
the time we're ready to close.
Are you guys better like with the permits? The reason why people say, "Well, I don't want to build a custom home," this is just what I've heard, is because getting the permits and getting everything set up with the city is the hardest part.
It's a
the
process.
it's a process.
It is a process.
Are you guys better at it than other builders? Is there some builders out there that just seems like they just get the land, they get all this going, they got so many homes happening, and then there's like some type of connection or relationship with the city that says, you know what, this is so and such builder, let's just get it done.
I wish I could say that
Really?
the big guys had preferential treatment, but they really don't.
They don't,
You
huh?
submit, you get in the queue just like everybody else. It
So it's
doesn't
just-
matter
it's just-
if it's me or them.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a little bit more pull because of their volume, but generally we're all considered the same. And the government entities are just like, hey, you're in line just like everybody else.
That's actually good to hear.
Yeah. Does some of the builders use eminent domain to try to get some of this land?
What?
No. That's what I was telling you is like, we're all well versed on what we do. And
Yeah.
that's where we try to get
Yeah.
the BLM to.
Okay.
Release
So you
those.
guys go through the process and take us through this process, because I want to know. Somebody goes down there and they're trying to get land and they have to put a bid on it. Now there's other builders out there putting bids on it as well.
Whoever the highest bidder is.
That's
It's
it.
in a public auction.
And how many bidders are usually out there when you have other builders out there? Because everybody's fighting for land.
Hundreds.
Hundreds. Wow.
You're talking big scales though too. I mean, I've been to auctions where big, huge master developers here in town have spent $800-900 million in one transaction.
800 or 900 million in one transaction.
I've seen those before. 400, 500, 600 million easy.
Wow. So it's kind of crazy because you look at the behind the scenes, people really don't know what's happening with these builders and how they get started, how the land works. But I mean, they do have some connection, you would say, with the city, because they're doing things like permitting these properties or getting this land ready on a big scale. So do you guys have like connections like with the city with like,
we have
hey,
relationships.
Yeah.
It's the same people we deal with on a general basis.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say connections. I would say more of just relationship of, we can
Just
pick up
working
the phone.
relationship.
Yeah,
just
working
over
relationship.
the years, just like
You know what that
Esmeralda
person
or-
wants, and
Yeah, you know what their needs, what they're looking for, and it's pretty black and white. Like, hey, here's the process. Follow this guideline. No one's perfect. If you miss something, at least they'll have the courtesy to be like, hey, we also need this.
So do you guys have an in-house lender too?
We do.
Okay. And I'm just curious, and this is not because I'm a lender, so don't think that, I'm bringing this up, but the incentives, like, is that really something that the builder makes money off of, or is it just, it's not, right?
It's not. We don't make any money because we're giving the incentive. It's actually a loss for us because we're giving up that incentive.
Isn't it primarily because they want to control the client, not you, but the
Well,
builders in general?
We try to encourage the incentive because
Yeah.
it's part of our marketing strategy and
Right.
and retention of buyers. And
Right.
the only reason why we have really a preferred lender is because the control, like you were talking about, and the familiarity and the trust factor that goes in it is like, okay, we know they'll get it done, because you'll go to an outside lender sometimes and oh yeah, we're gonna get it done, and it's closing day,
Issue.
and they're like, oh, sorry, but we're not gonna have loan docs for another 3 weeks.
Here's the big challenge for that. Okay, so let's say you do work with people that's outside, right? That's I'm working with a builder. I'm not saying it's totally different, but there is a certain process that's different for every single builder. The way that they handle things, there's a different coordinator, the way that they want things done, just slightly different. So I think there's some challenges because it's almost like starting out a new transaction with them that you've maybe never done one with. Now, once you start to get in the business though, and you start working with these builders, I think it's hard for the newer lenders to try to get that established because one, the builders don't know them. But like, let's say if I'm doing a deal, but hey, I got you another one, Dan. You know, for instance, I got this lady, her name's Winter. I'm not going to say her last name, but she's at a new homes track. It's like we know each other now. I think it takes time, right, for that to happen. And
Yeah,
I
it's
think
that trust factor.
it is, right?
It's just like any business. You do business with people you trust and you have a relationship with.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. So Esmeralda, let's talk a little bit. So you're out there, you're talking with a lot of people that are looking for new homes, looking for maybe some advice and looking for information on buying. What are you hearing out there right now? Because I know you're like the hustler in the group. You're out there. She's knocking doors down. You know, she's pushing people around and saying, "Hey, give me some business." What's going on out there?
Yeah, right now it is. It's right now that's the strength is actually the home buyer. I mean the home builder. Sorry, just because they do have the inventory and resell, we just don't. And not to say that there's none. There is, but it's the opportunity. The opportunity seems to be the light is at the builder side, just because. You know, they're new homes and there's options there.
Well, you hear the stories all the time on the resale side is multiple bidders over
All the time.
over the asking price, waiving their appraisal
Isn't that close
contingencies and waivers. You know, so I hear that all the time too, and because I'm in the business and I hear about it. And
Well, we know that the moratorium's going to be lifted, and we know that people are staying in their homes. And are builders out there looking at this? Are you guys looking at this saying, you know, like Mike, are you looking at this going, people are going to now start to move from their home and go into other homes, or they're going to have some options? I mean, what are your thoughts? Have you seen anything like this with the moratorium? Because I think that's going to be a part of it, and then rates going up. But we need more properties on the market, not because you guys aren't making enough money, but it's because we need more properties on the market.
Yeah, eventually we'll get back to, you know, our normal equilibrium where you've got so many...
A healthy market.
A healthy market. Yeah, that's a huge challenge right now. And I feel for the people who are actually trying to buy. I was talking with a young couple this week, and, you know, they want to buy a house, and we're kind of talking about, you know, how much money they've got to save up. And it's like, oh, you know, they didn't quite realize what they need to do.
Yeah.
And... you know, how are we going to accomplish that? Okay, well, maybe we need to scale back on your dreams here. Maybe this isn't the right time to buy your dream house.
Yeah.
right, or you buy something less or
Right.
more affordable, like you're gonna move into a condo or a townhome community versus your single family detached residence. That's could be 30% higher than what you know.
Sure.
And I think what's saving everything right now is the low interest rates.
Yeah, the rates need to go up a little bit, and I'm not saying that because obviously I don't encourage it because it could affect me, but for things to start opening up, people have to start having the ability or the trust that they can move from their house and find somewhere else to be, right? And I think that's a big thing right now with the moratorium. And what are your thoughts on it? I mean, you think that the moratorium is going to be somewhat helpful on this?
I think it's going to be a huge part, and also probate, unfortunately, is going to
Probate?
be... Yes. Probate, because there was a lot of deaths that took place with COVID, and obviously not everybody has everything in place.
That's a good point.
So that's going to be, unfortunately, an opportunity for someone else, because those homes have to be sold, and so that's another set of homes that are also an opportunity for somebody else to move into. And I mean, I mean,
that's probate is a challenge. You know, the whole court system is slowed down because of COVID. And probate often takes, you know, 6 months to a year anyways. So, holy cow. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Well, think about it. This is a pandemic. It's been what now, a year? we'll say a year.
Over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
So think about how many properties are in probate right now that are
Sure.
probably ready to get back on the market.
Yeah.
There's going to be an influx of that. I guarantee you.
Yeah, plus
there
you've got
is.
foreclosures that'll finally
Yes.
happen, and
Yeah.
you know, I feel for
with the moratorium being lifted, I think is what.
And I'm already seeing the NOD list increasing.
Really?
okay.
Definitely.
Mike, you don't deal with any of that, do you? With probate? You have somebody you work with on that?
I work with attorneys to do that.
Attorneys, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be an attorney.
You can be your
Blood
jack of all trades, man. Just pull the hat off and put it back on your head.
Yeah.
Attorney on what? Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and every other Tuesday, right, yeah.
So you go back, you look at these new homes, and I think a lot of people are going towards that direction. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's the best option. I think it's definitely one of the top options right now. But I do feel that I'm still getting offers accepted on existing homes. The problem is, and I'm putting it right here, is people are going 20, 30,000 above. You know, I've went and I've taken my real estate license test. I've actually passed that, and I've been going through some training with some things. And one of the things they're saying is that you have to be able to write a clean contract. We've been talking about that. And if you don't know how to write a contract, there was one person, for instance, wrote a contract where they wrote it not understanding it, and they lost where they were like, hey, it's going to be 20 above. Well, the way it was written, the agent ended up losing money. They lost about $18,000 on it. And so it's very important to read and write the contract right, but also understand if you are going above price. Are you guys seeing this a lot, right? You're seeing a lot of people go $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 above price.
I keep hearing about it a lot.
We see it all day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All day.
And where's the big challenge? Like where people, it's the appraisal, right? If you don't
They're waiving the appraisal contingency.
they're waiving it, you know? And so you're going to get to a point where existing homes are going to be the same or close to the same price as a new home. And usually that was a better price. Whereas like, hey, if you want to get the more bang for your buck, go existing. It's such a small difference now that when you look at new homes, it's hard not to look at that, right?
And it's all buyer preference.
Yeah.
I want new, shiny, never been lived in. You go new. If I want big yard, pool, mature landscaping, I go existing.
New homes, though, everybody thinks, like I told you in the beginning of the show, is that the stigma is that new homes are shiny. Nothing happens to them. Now, there is cases where people do have properties that they're in. Mike was in one of them where there was an issue, right? You had a new home and there was an issue, right? You said foundational issue?
Well, that was when they were building it. They put it in the wrong spot. But I was out there several times a week watching it being built, and I caught it before they did.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how does that happen where and I'm not saying that Summit does that. I think you guys, obviously you're a pretty intelligent person, but let's say something does happen like that. Is that something that has happened, and how do you fix that problem?
You have to fix it and address it.
Okay.
You know, it's a contractual agreement, just like you said. And,
yeah.
you know, you have plot plans and approved plans and elevations that you're agreeing to. And if you put the wrong elevation, which is the exterior component
I lived
of the
in a house that had that same problem, and the house would shake.
Oh, really?
And the builder contacted the whole neighborhood, and they had to fix all the houses.
Wow. Okay.
You know, you hear about it all the time. I'm sure you watch the news and stuff like that. You hear about it on the RJ or the news channels.
Yeah, I mean, we've had problems
There's
with
subdivisions that are like
water pipes and things like that, and
grades, water pipes. You know, back I think it was Kitech Plumbing back then, a long time ago.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Hundreds of homes had to be replumbed,
and that's one of the questions you have to ask. Like, hey, you know what? If you're selling a home, like, what are the issues? Lead base paint, right? That's one of them.
Yeah, on the resale side.
The resale side, yeah.
Built before 1978, I think it is, or 74.
Yep, Kitech Plumbing, that's another issue because there's a big problem.
If there's ever been water damage, those kind of things. Yeah. All those factors go into, you know, your resale purchase. But on the new home side, you don't have those kinds of issues because it's brand spanking new. There's no mold.
I have a question. So would you guys, let me ask you, so, and then you guys can also, would you have a home warranty on a new home? Would that?
But we include the new home warranty.
Absolutely, I would. Because and how long does that warranty last for, Andrew?
With our builder warranty, we do the 210. So that gives you 2 years bumper to bumper, 10-year for structural. But there's a company here in town, and I guess I can plug her because I bought them personally, so I'm not trying to plug anybody or not plug anybody, but Old Republic Home Warranty, they actually have a really good home warranty they offer.
Yeah.
So you can buy a new home coverage policy, doesn't matter who the builder is, through them, and cover years 2 through 5, 1 through 4, and that's bumper to bumper. So, you know, you have your deductible, obviously, but I bought it for my house because I was like, hey, you know, after my 2 years, I don't care if I'm a builder.
Yeah.
I want that additional security and insurance policy that says, hey, if I have an issue, I can pay my $75 deductible, and they can come in and, you know, fix my refrigerator or fix my toilet or fix my broken kitchen faucet or whatever, or my disposal or my pool equipment or my appliances, and I don't have to worry about it. Even though I do this for a living.
No, you're absolutely right. I have one thing about that. So let's say that you do have a warranty. Would you have to have a home inspection to support that warranty? Because a lot of times these home warranties, they kind of fight you back a little bit like, hey, that wasn't included.
I think it's the companies. It's definitely the companies that you choose.
So the home warranty company.
I don't want to badmouth any companies, but it's the home warranty companies.
I made the decision.
From my experiences,
some are easier to work with.
Some are easier to work with than others, and I don't want to say names, but
yeah.
There's one particular company that I used to actually have a long time ago personally. They're known more for fighting on every claim you want to do, but there's other companies that, okay, we'll take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've never had really a big issue other than that company. So, like, is the cost, because I don't deal with this, but is the cost of the home warranty, does it play a factor in what they will actually take care of?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they have their limits.
Uh-huh.
That's part of the policy, but you want to read those. So
Mike,
you know what you're getting.
Did you have a home warranty on your house?
The first house we bought, we did have one, and I had a leak, and they came in, they cut out some drywall, fixed the pipe, and then as they're leaving, I was like, what about the hole in the wall? Oh, well, you got to call back and get someone else to fix that. I'm like, seriously? I mean, I was just really pissed off at the warranty people. They sent out this flaky crew to, fix the pipe, and okay, now I got to call back and
someone else to come do the drywall repair.
Yeah, it just, come on,
texture
guys. That just really pissed me off and turned me off on home warranties.
And like I said, it's the company.
Yeah,
it's the company.
I'm sure. I don't remember the name of this company, but we had I replaced my water heater at home, and the next day there was a little puddle, and I said, oh no, you guys got to come back out. And they came out, looked at it, and well, we got to cut a hole in the wall, and can we send our drywall guy out tomorrow to fix the hole? And yeah, great. I mean, they took care of everything. That was just really awesome. So
what about you, Esmeralda? You deal with home warranty, right? Have you ever had any issues with a home warranty company?
I haven't, but actually my mom is dealing with that right now. She actually had a leak in her bathroom under the tub, and they had to go. Oh,
that's a mess.
Yeah, and she lives in a custom house, so they had to go in and rip everything, the kitchen, the garage,
everything, huh?
It's like crazy. So we're actually in that process. I can't really say that it hasn't been covered because they're still working in that actual process right now.
Well, we're going to wrap this up. I want to appreciate Andrew Acuna coming on and just answering some of the questions that some of the builders out there. I've always had some questions, but I think you were more generous in letting us know what goes on. So I appreciate you coming on. And always, we got. You have anything else to say besides that, Andrew?
No, thanks. Thanks for having me. And
buy some at
home. Do you have any other questions or anything like that? No, that's actually
buy
what
two
I
or
was
three.
going to say though is. We are an easier builder to deal with, and we aren't doing the lottery system and those kind of things. If you come in and you see a home you like and it's available, it's yours. For the price and everything, we're not going to do the lottery. We'll pick your number, do anything like that.
What if somebody comes in and asks for your name? Do they get any special treatment?
They charge you double.
Charge double.
Mr. Andrew Acuna, 20% off.
They charge extra.
20%
You're going to have
extra.
a line tomorrow. We're here for
Charging
Andrew.
double.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for you over here, Esmeralda from WFG Title? What's going on out there with WFG? Anything new happening at WFG Title?
We are starting off classes. We have our own CE class, actually, that we are teaching on with escrow and title.
CE class.
Yeah. So
Is that for realtors?
Is it
Yep.
going to be in person or is it going to be via
In
Zoom?
person.
Oh wow, we're doing in-person meetings again.
Wow.
in
Wow.
person.
How
So
fun.
yeah.
Are you
so
are you nervous? It's been a year.
I'm not. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good.
Okay.
She loves
Yeah.
talking and really good.
Oh yeah, she's a good talker, man.
Captive audience. Yay.
Well, hello there. No.
There was a thing where we were doing. I had a bunch of realtors come in, and we actually sponsored it together. And she pulled up right in front of the place. Like, dude, I'm just setting up shop right here. Stuff starts flying in. It was kind of cool. She came right in and she took care of it, in and out. Like, that's your deal. I think you were there, a total of 45 minutes? Mm-hmm. And you were gone and you were off to the next one. It's like, I'm telling you, man, this girl's a
machine.
She's a hustler.
I was like, hey, I gotta go. I brought the breakfast. I set it up. I did my pitch.
Ooh, snacks. Nice.
Yeah.
She was on it, man. And then we got
I'm
Mr.
in the wrong business.
No, you're in the right business, man.
Really? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. We always need a financial planner.
Okay.
Man.
Well,
Everybody
I
in
mean,
the
that-
world needs a
Yes.
financial planner.
We do.
She provides snacks, so that's kind of cool.
So, Mike, what's going on, man? Anything new? I know you went to the Vegas nights. That was fun the other night.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
You also went and you were at Lake Mead. How's Lake Mead looking?
Lake Mead is still low.
Well,
yeah.
let's go to Mike's website. Mike's right here. This is a guy that, man, you know what? You do a lot of stuff, though, with just
We do quite a bit.
it's not just one thing, you know?
No. So we work with a lot of individuals, small businesses. We started doing taxes 2 years ago. So we just finished our second tax season. That was pretty exciting.
How old were you in this picture, Mike? I'm curious, man.
I had gray hair in there.
Come on, man. Let me know. What,
Yeah.
Glamour shots.
Yeah.
I do the same thing, you know?
Oh, I know.
10 years ago, I still got the same picture from when I was 30.
That was probably about 5 years old, I
Yeah.
think. Because I had LASIK done about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, you had LASIK done, huh?
I had LASIK done, yeah.
What are your thoughts? How do you like LASIK?
I like it a lot. It's nice to be able to wake up in the middle of the night and see what time it is.
There was a gentleman I was talking to that said if you drink red wine, if you were drinking red wine throughout your life, that you'll actually reduce the situation where you would have to get that LASIK surgery. You would actually get it reduced. You're not drinking enough red wine, Mike.
Okay, well,
that's what it
there
is,
we
man.
go. I will work on that.
I'm gonna
Say red wine helps a lot.
Send us a couple
It's not
bottles.
genetics. It's actually the lack of red wine. Good to know.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, anyways, guys, this is Dan French. I want to appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody out there, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got
Thanks for the
Summit
chat
Homes.
room.
Yeah, we got some chats going on. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat
What's
room.
with the rabies? I don't get that.
I don't know. I think there's a gentleman out there that
Has rabies.
I've never heard of this guy. His name's Brett T. Jenny. Never heard of him. So,
No? Hey, Brett, how's it going? And Zach, and of course, Cece.
and of course, CC, everybody out there, you guys, thank you so much. Like I said, we're trying to give you guys really good information. We had Andrew Acuna come in here from Summit Homes, and we'll have him back on at some point, and a different perspective from a new home builder. You guys, thank you so much. We'll see you at the next stream. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We got more people coming on. Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.